Hello, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so welcome once again to our teen webinar series this afternoon. Uh, I hope you were able to accomplish the pretest that was flashed in the screen or flashed in your monitor a while back. If not, you can go to testmos.com/q/team ACQ. Go to log in as a student using your first name plus 4-digit numbers. And for the password, you can please use the TESTMOZ. So for this particular afternoon, we will be having another online learning platform, which is specifically used to assess our students through exams or through tests. This particular platform has been or being used by Lorma Colleges, College of Nursing, for several years now. And we are fortunate to welcome one of their professors to discuss to us or share to us about TESTMOZ. So before we begin, we would like to invite everyone to like our Facebook page, that is CHED Region 1, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel, that is CHED Regional Office 1. As of the moment, we have 600 viewers, both Facebook and YouTube. For our followers in FB, we have 8,000 followers, and for our YouTube channel, we have more than 2,000 subscribers. Thank you very much for subscribing and for following our YouTube and Facebook page. So again, we would like to acknowledge our participants from Iloilo, Bukidnon, Region 4A, Misamis Occidental, Rizal, Navotas, Cavite, Pampanga, Batangas, Quezon, North Cotabato, Laguna, Leyte, Marinduque, Metro Manila, Pasay, Quezon City, and also our participants from Region 1, from Ilocos Norte, Ilocos Sur, La Union, and Pangasinan. Thank you for staying with us. And you can also share our Facebook page. The videos that we have during the past sessions. And also you can continue viewing the previous sessions in our YouTube channel. So I guess, ladies and gentlemen, our speaker is already ready to discuss about TESTMOZ online exams made easy. But before that, allow me to introduce first our speaker. At the moment, he is a clinical nurse instructor for 10 years at the College of Nursing, Lorma Colleges. She is teaching medical surgical nursing, oncology, emergency disaster nursing, pharmacology, anatomy and physiology, and nursing informatics. She is a U.S. registered nurse and a graduate of Master of Arts in Nursing at Lorma Colleges. She is currently finishing her doctor in nursing science at St. Paul University, Tuguegarao. Ladies and gentlemen, to discuss TESTMOZ online exams made easy, let us all welcome Ms. Marisol J. Jomaya. Hi, Sol.
Hello. Hello, sir. Mel.
Hello. Kumusta ka?
Everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me here.
Welcome, Sol. So without further ado, we will be giving you the floor, Ms. Sol.
Good afternoon. My name is Marisol Jane Jomaya, and I'm in task to discuss to you about the best practice strategy we have here in College of Nursing in the conduct of online examinations. I think for many of our attendees who are viewing us right now, you might not be familiar of TESTMOZ as an online assessment tool. Maybe because um, it has been overshadowed by the big boys of online learning platforms, like, for example, the Edmodo, Canvas, Blackboard, and all of these other online platforms. But I think TestMoz in itself, the simplicity and its user-friendly interface can provide and will be actually an advantage for most teachers to conveniently and easily create and generate quizzes for that matter. And that is minus the confusion of navigating in sophisticated online assessment website. Like, for example, if you're a first-time user of Edmodo or maybe a Google Classroom, and then you would like to create an exam or quiz for that matter, it's very difficult to navigate it, especially if you don't know, you are not a tech-savvy instructor. So for this time around, this is actually the easiest one in the online website. So before anything else, there was a picture flashed earlier by our moderators. Before we go to the gritty nitty part of building an online exam, I would like for everyone to participate and take part in answering this 10-point quiz. It's only 10 points. 10 points. And you're given 10 minutes to actually answer the questions so that you can see later on how I did this particular exam. So you can access and you can log into, go to the URL link, testmoz.com/q/TEENN. So you can log in to the student. Okay, there's a student tab there. You write your first name plus any 4-digit number. And then you write the password TESTMOZ, as easy as that, small letters. So while I am discussing about the introduction of our webinar today, you can open the tab and then answer on the side while I go about with discussing your online assessment. So I hope again you participate so that later on you can see how I did this one. It's actually very, very easy. So again, go to the URL link testmoz.com/q/TeenEasyQ, and then you log in to the student tab. So that write your first name and then add any 4-digit number. Any 4-digit number is okay. And then you write the password to TESTMOZ. So let's go to the next slide before we start again with the core of our discussion. We have our learning objectives. The first one is to understand the concept of online assessment. The second one is to be able to identify the advantages and disadvantages of online assessment. And number 3, basically what this is all about, to perform, be able to understand and do basic test building and task management skills in TESTMOZ. So these are the 3 learning objectives we have that I hope I can deliver to you at the end of the seminar or a webinar. We can actually answer all of these things. So we have here online learning. With the health crisis that is ongoing right now, everything is put to a standstill, and that effect and the effect is actually worldwide. And the thing is, this health crisis has become a leveling the playing field of education. I mean, everything is put to a standstill, and we need to find alternative ways to deliver our learning to our students. Because let's face it, when we had the ECQ, it was in the middle of your midterms for us in higher education, and we still needed to deliver our course content. We still needed to conduct our examinations. So we needed to find ways, like video, we find ways. So the online learning comes in handy. It's a welcome approach to delivering our content to our students. Even the first world countries, this has become a standard or a norm in many of the higher education institutions. Unfortunately for the Philippines, for developing countries such as ours, we are left way behind, the back of the pack. So in reality, we need to do double time. We need to take bigger strides to move forward with our understanding and our conduct of online learning. So when it comes to e-learning content means everything. If e-learning content is not masterfully designed, all the rest will just go down the drain. That's why being tech savvy is also one of the requirements to conduct your online learning classes. And the Commission of Higher Education has already started this revolutionary webinar series for many of us in the education industry. And we have had discussions on Edmodo, there's also your Moodle, there's your Google Classroom, and just early this morning, there was your Schoology and then your Codecom. So these are the online platforms that provide us with the alternative to our traditional setup. Now, whether it is online or traditional learning, we ask the question, what happens afterwards? So we ask the question, how do we know that the students are learning? Definitely, the answer to that is we need feedback. In the same manner that after this webinar is finished, you need to take a quiz, right? And then you are given certificates. And because that is the way to assess your understanding or comprehension of what has actually transpired in this webinar. So how do we facilitate that feedback? We do that with your assessment. And as Arang has mentioned, assessment, which is an integral part of learning, is equally complex and involves many aspects and dimensions that need to be considered before it can be fully comprehended. Now, while learning is complex, assessment also takes a significant part of the educational system as it gives an appropriate and accurate picture to students where they actually stand. So why am I learning? Why am I trying to study? It's because you'd like to get as much information as you can. You get as much comprehension from the content that is delivered to you. And basically the assessment there is acting as a catalyst and a positive reinforcement to learners by encouraging our students to perform better. Now, in summative mode, so we have this types of assessment. Okay, assessment, summative, and then we have your formative. Assessment results are considered reflective of the knowledge, the skills, and competencies of the students, and these result and influence their employability in the long run. So in the College of Nursing, or maybe in the nursing course per se, we have these three dimensions that we always emphasize among our students, and that is knowledge, skills, competencies. Yes, you can have that there, but we also would like to incorporate the attitude. Okay. Now, these three are vital dimensions that we need to emphasize when we do our assessment. So teachers and educators use this different types of assessment to gauge and maybe shape learning through effective feedback. That's why we have portfolio when we do our return demonstration. That's why we have this traditional assessment. Okay, just an example of this type of assessment that I'm talking about, we are actually familiar with. So these are the different types of traditional assessment that we usually do in class. So we have, yes, we have the reporting, we have your projects, and then we have your role play, you have your class exhibits, you also have your case analysis, you have your games. And all of these are activities or assessment tasks we provide or we conduct to our students so that we will be able to measure and gauge how far they are with their learning. And among all of these traditional assessment tasks, pen and paper exam is the go-to assessment tool. Let's face it, from elementary to high school to college, this one, pen and paper, is actually, I I don't know if it's correct for everyone, but based on my experience, pen and paper is just the proverbial assessment tool for gauging and appraising and evaluating the students' learning. Okay, this might not be the be all and everything in assessment, but it's actually the standard. Okay, standard. That's why when we do our board examinations, I mean, with all our licensed courses, we have pen and paper exams. And when I took the nursing board exam, it was pen and paper, and we had to answer like 500 questions in 2 days. So imagine the stress, the anxiety that comes with it. Pen and paper exams is still like actually the proverbial assessment tool for everyone. Now, if we are going to translate that in online assessment, um, we have to understand that we shouldn't take it per se because online assessment is more than just testing and evaluation of the students. So we have to bear in mind that the pen and paper exams that we do for students in the classroom is not exactly the same. Although the concept is there, the dimension is there, it's not exactly the same because we need to use digital requirements or we need to comply with the digital requirements so that we can effectively give or conduct examinations to our students. So as online educators, we need to adapt to these various assessment activities so that in the long run again we can provide useful feedback and then there is accountability because we have a responsibility to provide them questions which are accurate and correct. And obviously, the online assessment is an opportunity to demonstrate quality because, like when we do our pen and paper examinations, we have this uh, items that we need to follow, like your Bloom's taxonomy. Yes, that is still applicable when you do your online exams. More so that this one provides you immediate results, okay, immediate results from the students. So again, online assessment is an opportunity to innovate and develop effective and reliable assessment for our students. Okay, so what are the advantages of our online assessment? So we have these three, actually there are six of them, if I'm not mistaken. So the advantage of having your online assessment. So it is number one, flexible. It's like the internet. It's ubiquitous. It can happen anywhere. It is existing anywhere, and you can take it anywhere. Even though online learning, it's the same. So when you are going to have your online exams, you take the exam anytime, anywhere. You know, the URL link that I sent to you guys, it's not just only confined in San Fernando City, La Union here in Region 1. I mean, I just needed to distribute it in this platform, and then everyone and wherever they are, they can actually click it. So it is very, very flexible. You don't need to go into the classroom and then sit on your specific table or specific chair and then take the exam and then go to the rudiments of your standard assessment pen and paper exams. Another thing is we have another advantage that's auto grading. Now this is a huge relief especially for us educators. I mean, if we are going to handle like 10 classes and all of them have this 5 or 10 quizzes at a time, imagine the burden of us, anxiety of checking all of these papers, and not to mention if you are that teacher who loves to have your essay tests. So I could just imagine how much time is actually left for you, for your family. Actually, we're always bringing our test papers at home because we're trying to check it. But if you're going to have it online, everything's automated. Immediately after the students have taken the examination, you can actually the website or maybe the platform automatically grades it for you. So that is another advantage for us. And in the same manner, there's also instant feedback. It especially for students after taking the examination, they immediately in a snap in real time get your results. And I read somewhere that it actually lessens the anxiety of the students in waiting for their scores as compared when you have it traditionally. We need to, because it takes some time for us to check all of these test questions. So they need to wait for some time. And then during this time, it raises their anxiety. They're always thinking about, oh, did I pass or did I fail or what am I going to do? Or things like that. However, if we are going to do it online, we have your instant feedback. So it helps the student immediately to analyze their performance. They would like to ask the question, where did I go wrong immediately? And then maybe they take better steps to optimize and maximize the results. Okay? And then here's another advantage that is actually very helpful for us educators. So we have your learning analytics. When I say learning analytics, when we are going to have our online platforms, if you're familiar with Edmodo, okay, they had this percentages of items which were answered correctly by our students, and they provide your progress track, your performance track, and then you also have your badges. This analytics provide instructors, the tools or the factors or the methods to see the quality of the test exams or test questions that they're actually making, and then they can use this result of the analytics to modify their test questions and maximize the potential of whatever online assessment tool that they are using. And then another thing is we online assessment is actually fun and interactive. Compared to when we have your traditional assessment, yes, we have your reporting, yes, we have your role playing, we have your simulation. That is interactive. That is engaging participation in the students. But we do not have that liberty right now. I mean, with what's happening with the global pandemic, everyone is confined to our homes. And we cannot do simulation at this time. We cannot do role playing at this time. But you can have an alternative for that. There are so many assessment websites or assessment platforms which can actually help our students become more engaged in learning. Now, especially for the kids, they are digital natives, so they are very familiar in the usage of our devices. And when we have your online assessment, it provides you a visual experience, an auditory experience for our learners, so that they can be more focused on the content. And then the multimedia platform there makes it very interesting. It's not boring like when we take the examinations, pen and paper, something like that. Okay, and then as a minimalist, you have there, it's environment friendly, it's paperless. Now, when we had our transition from pen and paper to online examination here in Norma, uh, our dean, Ma'am Maritas, actually mentioned that we have saved so much of our money, and it was actually cost effective for us because the problem of reproducing papers for hundreds of our students for our major examination is already solved. So that money or that budget which is allotted for the reproduction of our examination papers is actually diverted into other meaningful programs. So this would be a very good reason why we need to do away with pen and paper and yes, become a paperless institution. Mother Nature would likely thank us for that. Okay, so these are examples of your online assessment. So we have here, I'm pretty sure some of the nursing educators here are familiar with Quizlet. So this is your Quizlet here. So these are actually platforms or online websites which provides you the opportunity to build, create examinations or just basically your tests. So you have Quizlet and then you have Socrative. So you have here, yes, and then ProPros. Again, it also provides you that opportunity of building test examinations. Okay, and then we have here the more interactive part of your formative assessment, especially for the kids, or especially for those who would like to do away with what is boring and with what's just text. So we have here Kahoot. My niece in senior high school is actually very much fond of Kahoot. So this is very interactive classroom activity. We also have your flip grid. You can just throw a question there, and then the student can video himself and then send the response. And then we have your Blackboard and Canvas. These were the platforms that I was mentioning earlier. This Blackboard and Canvas are the big time online assessment platforms. But if I'm not mistaken, these two are needs subscription. So uh, it's a little bit expensive on the side. Okay, so we have discussed already your advantages. Now, I don't want to say disadvantages, but limitations, because I think the online community is very dynamic. There are so many rooms for improvement. So these limitations are likely uh, can be improved in the near future. So the first one on the list is when you have your online assessment, technical difficulty is one of your problems there. I've mentioned that TESTMOZ is actually very simple, but with the previous discussions that we have with Edmodo, with Google Classroom, and I've mentioned again earlier that if you're a first-time user, you can get lost in the digital translation. So when you're going to prepare or build an exam, you need to become tech savvy. You need to have, a little bit of technical expertise. So it requires technical expertise to navigate to the online experience. So basically, when you prepare for your course content, for your students, you also need to prepare for your online assessment. So the preparation of the examination and the management of the examination needs at least technical expertise for us educators. Next one on the list is this one is a problem for us who live in a country with very minimal, not too fast internet access. I mean, even us here in the faculty have problems with internet access. How much more for our students who are living so far from the city and they do not have any internet connectivity. So when you are going to conduct online assessment, technology is a must. However, if you do not have that, then everything is just nothing. Connectivity is actually the key. So without the access, everything else fails. So unless we answer the internet connectivity, then we will have problems, and there is your continuous dilemma of uh, access when you're going to do your online assessment. Next, costly setup. I've mentioned about Blackboard and Canvas earlier. Uh, they are I mentioned again, big time, the big wigs of your online platform, including your assessment. So many schools in Western countries are using this one, but the subscription and incorporation in the learning management system of a specific institution is actually very pricey. It's a costly setup. The electronic assessment needs to have secure protocols. You have to have very good internet connection. So tens of thousands of pesos or even dollars needs to be thrown out into the wind so that we could have a very good setup for your online assessment. Now, another thing is for online assessment, it's answer specific. There's no in-betweens. It's either black or white. So if the rubrics that you have placed there, the answer is letter A, it cannot be letter B, it cannot be letter C. Now, I think for many of you who have taken the quiz, there are I think two items there that was asking for fill in the blank answers. So if you have misspelled your answer, that is incorrect. If you did not put a space after one word, that is incorrect. So it's answer specific. You cannot have a gray area for considerations for answers. As when we do our pen and paper exam, if we understand that the students mean this one and that is correct, then we consider it. But when we are having our online assessment, it's not the same because you have specific and measurable rubrics that you need to follow. Another thing, another limitation for your online assessment is there is susceptibility to fraud. So for the technically advanced individuals who know how to hack, yes. You know, these security protocols, without security protocols, there would be leakages, exams become open book, and then the authenticity and integrity of that particular exam is going to be in question. So we have several scenarios. I hope you have watch the movie Bad Genius. It's a Thai movie. So it actually uses a very cunning and ingenious way to cheat. So as much as that the academic dishonesty is is a thing that we should solve. It's one of the proverbial problems that exists not only on traditional examinations but also in online. Okay, so without proper security protocols, there would be high chances of cheating. Now, since we are talking about academic dishonesty, this is a picture of what it is to have your traditional assessment. So on this side here, and this is a picture of our students when they were taking our competency appraisal classes. So I think there were around 110 students taking the examination in one and two classes. So these are the restrictions. These are our security protocols that we needed to implement so that the conduct of the examination maintains its certain sense of integrity. Now, on this side here, I just saw this somewhere in Twitter, if I'm not mistaken, or Facebook, maybe last year. So this is what educators, if I can remember, this was from an institution somewhere in the south, and these are civil engineering students. So if you can see, they were very creative in actually putting these deterrents so that there will be no cheating that will actually happen. And then we have another here. So if you can see, this is how far teachers will have to expand their ways and means on how to stop academic dishonesty. If in the traditional classroom cheating happens, how much more for online assessment, wherein the proctor, which is supposed to be the teacher, is not there. And at this time around, it's actually very difficult to check our students when they answer questions. If you are not familiar with how most exams, online exams, are actually conducted and managed, then as an educator, it's going to be very difficult for you, to keep yourselves abreast. Kaya nga, sabi nga ni Kim Chu, sabi niya, bawal lumabas. Okay, bawal, ang rule ng classroom mo, bawal lumabas. Okay, first one, it is correct because we are confined in our homes. Our students cannot go out. They have to take everything inside their phones and do online assessments there. And then next is bawal po lumabas ang sagot. Okay? Now we need to emphasize this certain sense of integrity in the conduct of our classes, in the conduct of our online assessment. We need to comply the rules. We need to tell these students that, academic dishonesty should never be practiced in all sense of the word. Because in the long run, they're just fooling themselves. Okay? So, um, so as an end to the first part of our discussion, we have this particular slide talking about teachers. Teachers as the factors or the movers in integrating technology seamlessly into the curriculum. It is important that our assessment should not only be one, not only two, not only three, since the online community provides us a lot of alternatives, a lot of platforms, then as online educators, it's also our responsibility to maximize its use. Okay, to maximize its use. So we should not be taking it as just part of our job. We should not be just taking it as something that, oh, because I am doing online classes, and then I need to be, digitally advanced for this matter. Then, just um, make exams on the fly. No, that should not be the case. Instructors must, extend the assessment measures through the instruction delivery of the online course. If education is moving towards outcomes-based assessment, then online education is an excellent vehicle for measurement and for improving outcomes, learning outcomes, and the application of that knowledge. Okay, so that is for our online assessment. Now, we move on to the next part. Okay. I'm going to give you a backstory of what happened while we transitioned from our pen and paper exams. That was 4 years ago, back in 2016. So when there was your OBE curriculum revision, so our college, the College of Nursing, with headed by our dean, Marites Pagdilaw, has invited several of our speakers to help us revise our curriculum and respond to the challenges that is posed by K-12 curriculum to higher educations. And in one of our seminar workshops, Dean Reggie Bautista talked about online assessment or uh, teaching learning activities for that matter. Uh, it took us days and days to, align all of our TLAs and our learning objectives for our students. And in one of these seminar workshop, Dean Reggie Bautista discussed about your TESTMOZ as an alternative for your pen and paper examinations. And it got me to tinkering around how online test actually works. So in this scenario, we are going to, discuss about your building online questions or building online exams. So we talk about first your TESTMOZ features. Okay, I'm going to show you a demo about how the quiz was done earlier. Okay, but as an overview of why you should use or consider using TESTMOZ, these are the features that you can actually maximize. Number one, it's free. However, there's an asterisk there. All the essential functions of TESTMOZ are actually available for everyone. However, for some premium features, like the security protocols that I was saying earlier, you need to have your $50 subscription. In my case, that is every year, by the way. In my case, I am sharing it with a colleague of mine so that $50 become $25. And if you want to lessen the burden again of paying for the subscription fee, you can have like a group of teachers who are discussing or maybe teaching the same course. Use one TESTMOZ account and then just enter or build test examinations there. Like it's like sharing or plan. Okay, plan. So it's actually free, but with some certain considerations. I'll show to you later what are those features you will be missing out on if you are just going to use it for free. It's not trial version, it's actually really free. However, the features are limited to a certain extent. Next one, we have the next TESTMOZ feature. There is actually no registration. When you took the exams earlier, the students, our educators who answered our question earlier or our quiz earlier did not need to register to a certain website. Okay, they just need what you needed to do was to log in with that URL that I have given you, and then you can just simply answer it and then it's finished. Okay? In the same manner, when you are a free user of TESTMOZ, you don't need to register to a certain website. You can actually make the questions, create the questions with that specific URL. I'm going to show to you later how simple it is. So TESTMOZ is actually an easy test generator. Easy test generator because it provides you a varied formats for authoring questions. So you can have your multiple choice questions. You can also have multiple answer questions. That's your select all that apply, which is one of your Waterloo of students in nursing, especially that you need to have multiple answers for that. I think many of you who answered needed to choose, tick off several of the countries, right? So that is your multiple answer questions. You also have your matching type, and then you have your true or false, and some part of it you have also your essay, and then your fill in the blanks. And this ones is actually easily built using your test notes. And there's also a feature of inclusion of your video clips in certain items in your quizzes. And then we have another feature which is actually very good. This one is for the teachers, by the way, the quiz management. It lessens the burden. I mean, when I started using TESTMOZ 4 years ago, it actually made my teaching experience, easier. Instead of trying to check examinations papers for days and days without end, we can have your automated quiz management filters out, it sorts your test, it search and organize your test. There's also your item analytics. You are also easy, you can have easy duplication or reproduction of that URL. Let's take, for example, your URL earlier. I can duplicate that and then give it to another set of people and then answer it. Okay? So for the free user, that examination that I have given you, you can only have as much as 100 people to answer that. And that's recorded in your URL. Okay. However, if like for example me, I am a premium user, I can have as many people to answer that quiz. So those are the very very small premium features are likely going to be maximized if you intend to subscribe to TESTMOZ. And then you also have your audit logs. Now, we were discussing about safety protocols, security protocols. And when you have your online assessment, it's important that you have your password, you have your identifiers. It is also very important that you have a timer for for the for the duration of the quiz or for the exam. And then there should also be your automatic lock feature so that there will be no extensions for the students who are taking the quiz. Because if you don't have this security protocols. Uh, Tendency is they can open their books while they are taking the examinations, or they can ask questions from some of their classmates who are also online. So this particular audit logs or these timestamps actually deter academic dishonesty or cheating with the use of your online assessment. And last but not the least, it's the use of very low bandwidth, as much as only 100,000 KB in size. So we have students, when we started using TESTMOZ 4 years ago, back in 2016, um, what we had in mind was to actually just minimize your paper reproduction for your pen and paper examinations. So we didn't have much of our laptops. We didn't have much rooms for computer laboratories to conduct our examination. But what we have are the devices, our mobile phones of our students. And we utilize that so that they can take the online examinations. However, during that time, there was still no timestamps. There was timestamps. However, the examinations were not timed. So what we did in the College of Nursing, we conducted our examinations still in the classroom, but instead of having it in pen and paper, they were answering the questions using their mobile phones. Okay? And then since there were no a fixed timer for the examinations before, we needed to put time started and time in for our students so that they could be very mindful about the duration of their examinations. Anybody who will not or will exceed the time, there are consequences for that. Now, with low bandwidth, okay, let's go back to low bandwidth. In the College of Nursing or in Lorma colleges, we have very excellent campus Wi-Fi access. So every nook and cranny of the campus has your internet connectivity. However, when we started this one, our internet, the hubs here in the classrooms weren't that sophisticated yet. But so there were problems with the bandwidth. But if you're going to use your mobile data, it actually works fast. I mean, you can connect easily, and then our students can actually answer just as easily as when we are connected to our Wi-Fi access. So according to the developer here, the low bandwidth there works well in low satellite connections in the middle of the oceans. He was referring to those interns maybe who are in shipping companies or maybe trainers who are conducting surveys or examinations to their employees. So TESTMOZ works very well with low internet connectivity. Okay. So, moderators, we are going to have our demonstration already of TESTMOZ. Can I ask our moderators to please play our video? Okay. So, with TESTMOZ, I cannot see, so alright. So, if you can see in your video screen, there is your test. This is the home. It's the home of your TESTMOZ, homepage of your TESTMOZ. It's basically a test generator, quiz creator, and it's a builder, test builder, an exam builder, which provides a very friendly, user-friendly interface. So it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. You can, if you have already, if you wish to create an examination, you can just adjust a few settings and then add a few questions and then distribute the URL, and as easy as that. Okay, and then when the examination is finished, you immediately get real time the results. So who uses TESTMOZ? So you can have teachers, you can have trainers, you can have your employees for that matter. And all of these things are actually features provided by TESTMOZ for you. So I cannot see so much of because I'm using the phone, but okay. So if you can see there, it provides you questions, a variety of questions. As I mentioned earlier, you have your multiple choice, matching type examinations, you have your essay format, and then you can embed videos. You cannot actually upload your video from your laptop or from your source, but you can embed. You can embed videos using a third-party website, like for example YouTube for that matter. And then we have you can copy paste your pieces from Microsoft Word and then transfer it to but that's one by one, okay? And then you also have you can actually share your copy of the examination from your own account. And then if you wish to share your quiz to a colleague of yours who does not have an account, that is possible. Okay, and then since, for example, you're handling like 10 classes, you need to have one quiz for this class and another quiz for this class and another quiz for this class, so that there will be no mix up of your rates, I mean your rating for your students. So this is a welcome alternative again, the sharing of a copy of your quiz to your colleagues. So as you can see here, okay, we have your varied question formats. So you have your multiple choice, you have your multiple answer questions. You also have your true or false questions. You also have your fill in the blanks, and you have your essay. Essay is a bit difficult to check because you needed to use your, it's very relative, subjective in nature. Okay, and then you have here, you can actually create from your question bank. So, or a question pool for that matter. Distributing your test is also very easy. As immediately after you're done making your questions, it's very easy for you to publish it, and then you have immediately a generation of that URL link, and then you distribute it to your students for that matter. Okay, so I'm looking at yes, it is possible. We can use it for mobile phones. We can also have the interface for laptops for that matter. Okay, so all of these features are available for free user and for your premium user. Next one, we have, okay, if you can see here, there are mathematical equations. Sometimes some learning platforms do not provide that opportunity to, include your mathematical equations. But for this time around, when you have your TESTMOZ, the use of your TESTMOZ, they give you that alternative. Okay, so let's go to my account. So if you can see here, these are the exams that I made over the years since 2016. Okay, and let's go to our quiz, sample quiz earlier. So that is your TESTMOZ sample quiz. So the search is actually very fast. See, this was recorded earlier, so I haven't seen the number of people who have taken the exam. So I'm going to click that, and you have this to show in your dashboard. So you have your settings, you have your questions, you have your publish, and you have your results. Now, it is important that you name, okay, you name your your quiz, and then you have your instructions there. You have your formatting tools to help you to make your instructions very varied. Okay, so you can even change the colors for that. Okay, so and then next one we have the background of your test. So you can choose from among these four. So you can have the red one, you can have the yellow one, you can have the blue one, and then the original. Oh, back in 2016, we had that one. I think it, well, it's lost. Um, Moderators, hello. So I guess we are already over. You can, I mean, moderators. Anyway, so basically that is what is TESTMOZ. I hope I have provided to you the the rudiments or the basic knowledge of doing TESTMOZ, but I would like to show, let's see, okay, I would like to see, I am going to show to you the results. Oh, you see, if you can actually see, there are 575 of you who took the examination, and that's quite a number. And I can have as much as many as you know test takers for that matter. So let's check. So we have discussed your settings. We also have discussed your question. I mean the question. Okay, I'm going to show to you the question. How did I do it? So this is the question number one. Okay, this was question number one. Okay. Can you see? I am lost. Where am I? Moderator. Is it okay if we can remove the video already and I can share this particular window so that we can move on? Um, yes, this one. Um, I'm going to share this one. Sorry. I'm going to share. And I'm going to share this part. Okay. I'm sorry and my apologies. Um, I'm not sure if you can see this one. Moderators, I'd like to show everyone.
Marisol?
Moderators,
Hello? Yes, Marisol, can you hear me?
I'd like to
Hello,
share the result.
Marisol.
Hello?
Hello,
Marisol?
Marisol, can you hear me?
Can I share? Can I share this
Yes, yes,
window?
yes. You can share your screen, Marisol.
Can you see already? This is
I
actually
guess
not sure for a while
it is
before
not
this.
yet on our StreamYard.
Okay,
Can
for a
you
while.
reshare it again?
Okay. So, is it possible already? Can we see already?
Not yet, Marisol. We cannot see
Um,
your screen, Marisol.
Mel,
Yes. Hello.
I don't know
Uh,
what's wrong.
Kindly share your screen. I guess you want to
I'm
share
going to
the
show the
results.
actual test result of
Yeah,
our
the test
computer.
result
Okay,
of our pretest, I believe.
very well. I'm going to do it again. That's one. Is it okay? Yes. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Let's have it. Okay, there we go. Thank you. So this is the TESTMOZ sample quiz that you have taken earlier. So can you imagine the number of responses that we have here. We have 590 of you guys. Thank you so much. And so this is your identifiers, the names. Okay, this is arranged alphabetically. Okay, so all of them, some of you have actually written your full names. Okay. So we're going to check the scores. Let's see. We can actually TESTMOZ can show you from highest to lowest and from lowest to highest for that matter for a while. My apologies again for the internet connection. There you go. So these are our participants who have achieved the perfect score. Congratulations to you guys. So that's it. Okay. So it's actually descending and you can have it the other way around. Okay. And then we have your timestamps here. Okay. So some of you started at 1:31, finished at 1:36. That's around 4 minutes. So good job. Thank you so much again. And then on the side, we have your score histogram. So you would like to find out. So since these are the achievers, obviously the items would be green. That means everything is correct. However, let's go to those who have incorrect answers. So when you see here, this is all orange. Yeah, I think orange on the side. These items are only partially credited. Only partially credited, and you can also see some items which are incorrect. So for this particular test taker, so the incorrect answer for I think math. And if you're going to look at the statistics for those who for items which has a high number of statistics, I think number 2 has that, and the lowest is number 6, which is actually math, which is actually my Waterloo too. So it's okay, fellow educators. We are, we have the same loopholes. Okay, Waterloo. Okay, so everything is here, and it's also very easy if you would like to. I'm going to show to you. Let's say, for example, if you have a student who took the exam, not just only one exam, but I mean an examination for the whole semester. So that would be a lot. So you can filter out the name, by the way. There you go. And then, okay. And then you can actually, I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry. Here. I'm sorry. Go to results here. This is results across every test. So okay, you can see all your test takers here, but I would like to filter out that so you can have. See? So this is just one person, and you can have all the results of that one person for all exams she has taken in TESTMOZ. Okay? So I think those are just one of the few things or few features that I can share to you with regards to TESTMOZ. There are so many things that I would like to share to you, but I think I have gone beyond the time. Anyway, if you're going to go to TESTMOZ, they have double video of how to create an examination there. I would like to think that TESTMOZ has a lot of potential for improvement and be at par with the big wigs like Canvas and Blackboard. But I would, from experience, based on my experience, TESTMOZ has made my life easier as a teacher because the examinations are already there. And then I can have just a pool of my test questions, and everything is automatically generated. There's so many very wonderful features, and I hope you can actually also use it for your own classes. So I think that's it. Thank you so much. I hope you have learned something from our webinar today.
All right. Thank you so much, Miss Marisol Jane Jomaya, for sharing to us TESTMOZ and its features. Regards to our colleagues there at Lorma Colleges, specifically the College of Nursing. Thank you to Dr. Apilado, Ms. Pagdilao, for allowing Ms. Jomaya to share TESTMOZ. Okay, so before we proceed to our open forum, our question and answer, shout out. We would like to acknowledge first our 1,200 participants who are all watching to us. We have participants from as far as Zamboanga, Davao, Lanao, Bukidnon. Hello po sa inyong lahat. And we also have participants from Visayas, Iloilo, uh, uh, Marinduque, what else? And also from Luzon, Pampanga, Batangas, and Metro Manila, and also to the northern part of Luzon. So I guess we are already ready for the first question, Ms. Sol. So this first question is from Mr. Federico Nagtalon. How can we ensure that the psychomotor and affective domains of learning are fully assessed in an online assessment platform, especially the BSN program?
Um, that is very, very hard to, you know, to answer, sir, because the affective and the psychomotor needs to be performed. So simulation, the return demonstration cannot actually be uh, a very good uh, online assessment uh, tool for the BSN program. I have attended a specific webinar on how most of our fellow educators in Hong Kong or in the Asia Pacific is actually doing this psychomotor and affective domain assessment, and it's very. They did not mention about online. Okay? They mentioned about on ground. In Hong Kong, they have this simulation of tasks and responsibilities of what a nurse should do in a specific unit or an area, and that is happening inside the school. So if you're going to depend solely on the online assessment for the psychomotor and affective domains of our students, I think that's very, very hard to answer for that matter. There are many ways we can do that. However, I think there are many rooms for improving that one also. And then also, what we are doing right now, I'm not sure if it's okay to discuss this one, how we are going to conduct our return demonstration. Our dean in the assessment of our psychomotor and affective domains of our BSN nursing students have decided to do our return demonstration online through your live streaming. I don't know if uh, that can be applicable to you, but that's what we are planning to use come June. So I think we are going to prove that the learning is actually there, and the measurement also for or the assessment of the psychomotor domain of our return demonstration of our nursing students will also be answered as well. So I hope we can do that.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sol. Next question we have from Mr. Sat Aribe Jr. This is from Bukidnon State University. Are the questions generated randomly when given to students during online exam? Can we also recycle the quiz?
Yes, you can randomize your questions. You can recycle your questions. You can also merge your questions from one full bank of questions to another full bank of questions. You can merge it so that you can make a longer examination, longer number of questions for the quiz. So yes, you can do that in test marks. You can duplicate several quizzes, and then you can create a new quiz out of those duplicates and reproduce quizzes for that matter. So yes, it's actually a very good feature of TESTMOZ.
Thank you. Another question. This is from Mr. Chan Kabungan. Good afternoon, ma'am. What if student create a dummy account, then fetch the questions and answers? How can we avoid duplication of submissions using dummy account, or how can we validate the examinee's identity if they are real or just a dummy using TESTMOZ?
The dummy accounts are a big no-no. So if you are going to distribute or give your URL to your students, then it's the responsibility of the teacher to provide a specific identifier. So again, you can change that every now and then. And then also, say for example, we have like students who just write anything there, you should know that they are duplicating the names, or they are actually what do you call this one? They are just making fun of the logging in issue of your TESMOS. Then you can check with your audit logs for that matter.
Thank you. Another question. This is from Mr. Benj Aguinaldo. Ma'am, does the results of students' assessment may be generated to Excel format, or does the results can be linked to Excel?
Actually, sir, you can generate it to Excel format. I haven't shown to you earlier, but there is a feature of TESTMOZ which you can generate it to an Excel format. However, you needed to, you know, extend some of the lines there, but all the information from your results is actually transferred to your Excel. So it is possible.
Thank you. Another question is from Mr. Candido Perez. What is the maximum number of questions you can give? Can this be used for comprehensive exams with 100 to 200 multiple choice questions?
For the free user, the maximum number of questions that you can actually put in your TESTMOZ account is just 50. However, if you are a subscriber or you have registered to a paid account of TESTMOZ, you can have as many as you can. As many as you can. Like what I have shown to you earlier, even the responses were a lot, 590. And then if you are very generous teacher, you can give as much as 500 questions if you want, but again, that's going to be very taxing on your part. So you can just cut it into a fewer number, but maximum for free user is 50, and for the subscriber, you can have as many as you can.
Thank you. Another question. This is from Miss Lorna Tiangson Pulmones. In TESMOS, is it possible to send the scores to individual students for privacy score purposes? Thanks, ma'am, from Iloilo.
Yes, it is possible to send. You can email the results to your students. There is there's a tab there which provides a bar, which is a bar there, which provides you a space to write on your email address for your students, so that even the results, even the explanation, you can email it to your students. But I think that is for the premium users, not for your free users.
Thank you. Another question. This is from Miss Marikit Obrero. Can we create TESMOS right there in our Google Classroom? How can we link TESMOS or link TESMOS
Actually,
to Classroom?
yes, you just need to copy paste the link in your Google Classroom, as easy as that. We tried using Google Classroom, the quiz generator there. It's a bit confusing, and you get lost in the navigation there. But with TestMoz, you can create your examination, you can create your test questions there, and then you publish when the URL is generated. You can just copy paste it in your Google Classrooms. You can. We are also doing that in Edmodo. So you can have like two-in-one on platforms, one for assessment and one for your learning.
Okay, thank you so much. Another question. Uh, I guess this is already answered. Okay, this is from Mr. Romel Viloria. Is TESTMOZ Quiz Bank compatible with any LMS in order for us to integrate the results or the questions itself?
I don't think that is possible because the interface for TESTMOZ is entirely different in its own. So if you're going to use another LMS, for example, Edmodo, then that is specifically for Edmodo only. And if there are quizzes there, and then you need to uh, put your progress grade for your students, that's for Edmodo. TESTMOZ is another thing. So I think that's not possible. However, if you do not have an LMS and you just wish to have your examination for your students, then you can just have TESTMOZ.
All right, thank you. Another question from Mr. Roy Ken de la Cruz. Passcode will be new every time we set new questions. Can question to be added in test after if it is published, and how long are tests scored?
Every time you create a new quiz, it will generate a different set of URL. So it means to say that that URL is only specific to the quiz that you have actually generated. So, and then also, what's this question? To be added in test after it is published, how long are test stored? Okay. So if you are a user, a free user for TESTMOZ, you can store the quizzes for up to a year. Okay, up to a year. Uh, until last person year, the last uh, quiz. I mean, if it's not used for a year, okay, you can have it extension of 1 year. As long as that question is actually being used, that will be stored for a year. So if you wish to subscribe, then you don't have any problems of writing down your URL, because if you're a tier free user, you need to write down your URL, and then you need to write down your password every now and then. So if you lose that password, then it means to say you have also lost your generated quiz. So if I think it's very cost effective if you just subscribe, because if you are using and you're generating test examinations every day, every now and then I mean you have maximized the potential of TESTMOZ in storing in sorting all of your quizzes.
Okay, thank you. Another question from Mabs Panugaw, Teodosio Takla. Thank you for a very informative sharing, Miss Marisol. Is there a way to lock the screen of the examinee only the TESMOS window is open to refrain him or her from opening other windows?
Unfortunately, that is one of the limitations in TESTMOZ. They don't have lock screen, but they can lock out if they have not finished or if they have gone overboard the duration of the examination. I think if you have to have that lock screen, you need canvas for that, you need blackboard for that, and that entails a lot of money on your part or of the institution. So, but anyway, I'd like to be very hopeful that the developer is going to do something about that in the future.
Thank you. Uh, Another question. This is from Mr. Jesus Gonzalez. What if I give a quiz and there is time frame, then unfortunately due to poor connection the students did not finish the test? How could we fix that problem?
Oh, that is actually solved just this year. In the past, we have problems with internet connectivity. So if you have very bad internet, you get kicked out of TESTMOS. But this time around, if you have problems with the internet connectivity, you just need to refresh or need to log in, and then you can the last number, the current number that you have taken the examination before you were locked out, or if you were kicked out of the test will still be the same. So it's continuous. You just need to refresh or you just need to log in. So no
Okay.
problems for that.
Another question from Mr. Kapwa. Is it possible for each questions to be given a certain time limit? And also, it is possible for teachers to restrict going back to the previous answer questions.
Yes, I think that's one of the wonderful features of TESTMOZ because if you have your Google Forms, if you're familiar with that, you're just going to slide up, right? Because all of the questions are in one page. However, in TESTMOZ, there is a feature there which specifies that the student can only move on to the next question if he or she is able to answer the current question. So yes, there is a feature for that one.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Soil. I guess that's the last question we would like to ask you. However, if there are questions, I mean, to our participants, if there are questions that we were not able to throw to our speaker, we will be requesting our speaker to visit our FB page and our YouTube channel for the questions. Would that be okay, Miss Sol? Okay, so we will be requesting Miss Sol for her uh, final message to all our participants.
Okay. I hope I have given to you basic knowledge of what it is to be an online educator at this time, because in essence, is really a challenge for us. I mean, from online learning, resources that we need to create and manage, to the online testing tools that we need to use for our students. It's going to be, you know, um, a more challenging experience for most educators. In the same manner that we are also expected of the responsibility to deliver our course content in a systematic and organized scenario also. So I guess as educators, we need to become a very adaptive to and become dynamic in online learning, and that is not to restrict only in one form or one format. We need to expand ourselves, and I hope I have given to you enough uh, tools so that you can make your own online exams and then ease and have the convenience at your fingertips of making test notes as an assessment tool for your students. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you so much, Ms. Soil. And also from the Commission on Higher Education Region 1, we would like also to express our gratitude to you and also to Dr. Apilado and Ms. Pagdilao, regards to all our colleagues there at the College of Nursing. Okay, so again, to all our participants, we will be okay. Here's the guidelines on how you will going to acquire your e-certificate. First, it is important that you need to attend our morning and afternoon session, and we will be later. I will be announcing to you the feedback form and the quiz link after this one. And you are given until 6 p.m. to accomplish our feedback form and our assessment or our quiz. Those who were able to pass or received a passing mark of 4 out of 6 questions for the quiz, you will be able to receive your e-certificates. Again, we will only be considering your first take to that particular assessment or quiz. Um, However, you can retake, but we will not be reconsidering or considering the result of that retake exam that you've did. We will only be again we will only be considering the result of your first take. Okay, and for the previous sessions you can download your certificate at webinar.chedro1.com. And for the presentations of the different speakers from the previous sessions, you can just replay the saved presentations in our FB page and in our YouTube channel. To those participants who are asking for the PowerPoint presentations, we apologize for that because we were not able to secure consent from our speakers for us to have their PowerPoint presentations. However, again, you can replay their live presentations in our FB page and in our YouTube channel. Oh, okay, so for our Thursday session, we will be having a this is another online platform, but we will no, this is uh, non-wired learning platform. We'll be talking about module writing. Okay, so this will be elaborated to us by Dr. Felina Spique of the St. Louis University. And in the afternoon, we will have our lecture on the different or common gender issues during the COVID-19 outbreak. That will be presented to us by Attorney Analea Romero from the Commission on Human Rights Region 1. And to be followed by the lecture of Mr. Kendall Gatan, the OIC Nutrition Coordinator of the National Nutrition Council Region 1 for on how we can combat COVID-19 through nutritional health. So for next month, we will also we are finalizing um, speakers. We were able to invite speakers from different countries like US and China. So continue to uh, continue to view our FB page for announcements. For the link of your feedback form and quiz, you can visit this link https colon slash slash bit.ly slash ched session 6 webinar, or you can see this one. This is the link for your feedback form for this session. Okay, so once again, thank you very much to our viewers for our 1,200, more than 1,200 viewers for this day. We hope that we will be able to see you again on Thursdays and on our future webinars. So from us in the Commission on Higher Education Region 1, this is Dr. Mel Ancheta saying thank you and see you on Thursday.